Welcome to Discount Storytime, literature's finest dumpster fire. This week's story is Pickleball, a historical romance. I have an admission to make before starting this story. I decided to write a historical romance to change it up from the horror stories and thought a pickleball competition would be perfect. The one big problem is I don't know anything about pickleball. We have pickleball courts in the city I live in, and I've walked past one and it looked like a smaller version of a tennis court, but I have never watched a game or read about how it's played. And so I did my usual amount of research for a story, which is none. So this story is based on what I assume is the history and the rules of pickleball. If you are a diehard pickleball player or a pickleball fan, contact me by clicking the link in the show notes or at mail@discountstorytime.com and let me know how close I got. Otherwise, I'm going to assume I nailed it. And with that, on with the story. Today's story takes place in the competitive world of pickleball. You may ask me, Ken, what is pickleball? How was it invented? How is it played? Why are you still in your pajamas? Do you always have coffee breath? Well, dear listeners, today we explore the history of this exciting sport. Pickleball, or as it was originally called, Ronnie Ball, was invented in the year 1397 by Sir Ronnie Winthrop on a lazy Sunday afternoon. You know the type, when it's too late in the weekend to make new plans and not close enough to the evening to get ready for the Monday morning rush. Sure, you could take your wagon to Ye Old Market and do your shopping for the week, but the market is probably packed with everyone else doing their shopping and all out of all the good stuff by now anyway. Oh, Chauncey, it's a boring Sunday afternoon, and I'm so bored, Sir Ronnie said to Chauncey, his steampunk robot butler. Why don't you get out of the house, sir? Maybe go to Ye Old Market. I've made a shopping list. No, it's probably packed with everyone doing their shopping and out of all the good stuff by now anyway. I'm bored. The water giraffes need milking if you are that bored. Nah. The front door teeth need polishing. Nah. The mattresses need a fresh coat of paint. The dishes need flossing. And on and on. Chauncey was always doing this. For a robot butler, he was pretty lazy, much like the steampunk robot butlers we use today. I guess some things never change. Maybe I'll have a sandwich, Sir Ronnie said expectantly to his steampunk robot butler. You want me to make it for you, sir? I don't know. You know the saying, if you give a manwich and whatnot. Yes. There's leftover mutton loaf. The bread is stale, though. Perhaps if you go to Ye Old Market. Clearly, Chauncey was not going to make Sir Ronnie a sandwich, so he trudged to the kitchen to make one himself. There was a loud crash outside, and Sir Ronnie raced to the kitchen window and sighed. He was hoping for adventure, but the loud crash was just his neighbors, who were flipping their castle, so renovating the moat to improve curbside appeal. They saw Sir Ronnie and yelled, "We're okay. Sorry about the racket." "The what?" asked Sir Ronnie. "The racket," they yelled. "The racket, you say? Well, no worries." The neighbors smiled and yelled, Thanks for being a good sport.
A good what?
Sport, they yelled.
Sport, you say?
We'll try to be more on the ball, the neighbors yelled.
On the what?
The ball, they yelled.
The ball, you say? Well, again, no worries.
Sir Ronnie waved and went back to making his mutton loaf sandwich. Oh, and the lettuce was getting wilted. Really, someone needed to go to ye old market. Racket, he thought. Sport, he thought. Ball, he thought. Lettuce, he thought. Then it hit him. He gobbled down his sandwich and ran to Chauncey.
Oh, Chauncey, do a data search for all the sports played with balls and rackets. Do any already exist?
Chauncey beeped and whirred for a while, which he didn't need to do. He had the answer within a millisecond. But Chauncey enjoyed making humans wait, much like steampunk robot butlers do today. I guess some things never change. Chauncey said, "There are several, sir. Tennis, badminton, ping-pong, padel, squash, racquetball, and basque pelota, just to name a few."
None, you say? Then I shall create one,
Sir Ronnie said as he raced out the door, stepped on a pine cone, swore, then raced back inside, put on his shoes, and raced out the door. What happened next would change the course of humanity forever, probably. Sir Ronnie just knew he was onto something, but what exactly? Was creating a new and somewhat obscure sport his destiny? Would this be the gift he would leave to the world? He didn't know where his new idea would eventually take him, but he knew where to start, at Ye Old Sporting Goods. There he perused the aisles for inspiration. He came to the aisle labeled Already Invented Racket Sports, and an attractive woman donned in store employee attire of the time greeted him. Her name tag read Emily. "Hello, good sir, and welcome to Ye Old Sporting Goods. Is there anything I can help you find today, perchance?" Sir Ronnie grunted and kept walking down the aisle.
"Making something."
"Really? What are you making? Perhaps I can help."
"I doubt it. I'm inventing a new sport, Ronnie Ball, probably the first of its kind, played with a racket and a ball."
"Oh, wonderful. I love racket sports. As a matter of fact, I happen to be the only 3-time champion of Women's League soup tennis. I also have a lucrative coaching career and just work at this market to help share my love of racket sports and to get out of the house on Sunday afternoons. They can be so boring." She showed Sir Ronnie the rackets for sale, but none of them were right. Sir Ronnie frowned.
"These are all nice, but not what I'm looking for. I may have to design my own racket for Ronnie Ball."
Emily tilted her head. "Have you done that before, good sir? It's not as easy as it might sound, and I could help." Sir Ronnie laughed.
"What? A girl designing a racket? What experience could you possibly have?"
Emily raised an eyebrow and pointed to the Ye Old Sporting Goods best-selling line of rackets, the Emily Pickle line, designed by 3-time women's soup tennis champion Emily Pickle. Sir Ronnie muttered,
"Oh, if only I could find someone competent to help me,"
and walked off. Back home, he and Chauncey put their heads together and burned the midnight oil trying out unique designs. Well, Sir Ronnie stayed up day and night working on it, Chauncey left after 20 minutes, saying he had to change out the laundry, although washing machines and dryers were not invented yet. He was later found napping in a corner of the attic, much like steampunk robot butlers do today. I guess some things never change. After weeks of effort, Sir Ronnie finally arrived at a suitable prototype. Now, this early racket differed significantly from modern ones. For example, unlike modern tennis rackets, Sir Ronnie's prototype had a handle at one end and a shaft to connect the handle to a flat oval head which was strung crosswise. Sir Ronnie then made a ball by shaping the rubber from the bark of a rubber dog. As for the net, Sir Ronnie just downright stole one from his neighbor's tennis court. His other neighbors, not the ones fixing up their moat, just to be clear. But what about the rules for Ronnie Ball? How could it be played in such a way to keep it from getting boring as hell to watch like tennis? Sir Ronnie was stuck. Finally, he decided that getting some distance from the problem might help. So he took an afternoon off to attend his friend's birthday party at the local pound cake mill.
"Well, tally-ho, good Sir Ronnie,"
said his friend Jerry Plotfodder, who clearly didn't understand what tally-ho meant.
Good day, Jerry Plotfodder. This is quite an amazing birthday party, and quite distinguished guests.
Yes, I am fortunate to have so many dear friends."
Just then, a young woman walked by, but not just any young woman, but Emily Pickle from Ye Old Sporting Goods.
"Say, Sport, I heard you are designing a new type of racket sport. Have you met Emily? She is the only 3-time champion of the Women's League Soup Tennis."
Emily stopped when she heard her name and turned to see Ronnie.
"Well, hello again." "Oh, you two have met? Oh, how titillating,"
said Jerry Plotfodder. Emily remembered how Sir Ronnie brushed her off and smiled coolly.
"Why, yes, Sir Ronnie came by Ye Old Sporting Goods. How art thou?"
Sir Ronnie blushed. When he first met Emily Pickle, he was so focused on designing a racket, he failed to notice how pretty her smile was.
"Why, quite well, and thee as well?"
"Verily,"
she said, because they started talking like that for some reason. Jerry Plotfodder's job was done.
"If you'll excuse me, my other guests are calling. I will leave you two to get acquainted. Tally-ho!"
And with a sly grin he left, never to be heard from in this story again, probably. Sir Ronnie and Emily Pickle found a quiet spot. She told him all about her career in Women's League Soup Tennis, and he found, much to his surprise, that she was almost as interesting and attractive as himself. Why, he was nearly smitten. Emily said,
"But listen to me prattle on about myself. How are you? How is the new sport coming?"
"Oh, I've designed a racket. Would you like to see it?"
"Would I? Absolutely. I've been curious what design you would come up with. Verily."
Sir Ronnie took the racket out of its cover for Emily Pickle to examine. Her eyes lit up and her smile widened, creating the most adorable dimples.
"Why, this is amazing. This racket has a handle, a flat oval head, and woven strings. Why, it's nothing at all like rackets used for other sports like tennis."
"Do you like it?"
She looked at him.
"Very much so, yes. What is it called again?"
"Ronnie Ball, for now. I'm still workshopping it."
"Ronnie Ball. And how is Ronnie Ball played?
At this, Sir Ronnie frowned, bit his fist, and looked away.
That's the rub. I've designed the racket and the ball, but I do not know how the game shall be played. I just keep spinning my...
Sir Ronnie froze.
What? Spinning what?
Asked Emily Pickle. Sir Ronnie at first seemed to stare into the distance. She followed his gaze to the water wheel used to power the local pound cake mill.
Water wheels?
Sir Ronnie nodded.
Yes, no, not water wheels specifically, but if the players took turns spinning a large wheel, and where it landed could...
Emily finished for him.
Could have different competitions for that round to mix things up so it wouldn't get boring as hell like regular tennis.
Exactly. But what could those be?
They sat in silent thought. Then Emily snapped her fingers. It had been so quiet that the sound startled Ronnie, and they chuckled. Emily nodded to herself as if confirming her idea before speaking.
What about this one? You spin the wheel. If it lands on Rapunzel, each side of the court has a tower with a cat in a wig. Your cat spits hairballs at your opponent, who hits the hairball back at your tower cat. The first player to bop their opponent's cat 3 times wins the round. And, dear listeners, that's how Pickleball's Rapunzel rounds are played to this very day. Emily and Sir Ronnie spent the afternoon and well into the evening writing down ideas for the spin wheel. The night grew late and a romantic crescent moon hung in the sky when Sir Ronnie walked Emily Pickle home. They lingered at her doorstep. Emily laughed and said, I think we forgot to say goodbye to Jerry Plotfodder.
Yes, I was just so happy to meet you.
Me too.
She gave him a little wink, and his heart leapt.
Say, I would very much like to see you again. Would you like to have dinner? We could come up with some more Ronnie Ball designs.
Yes, I would like that very much.
Emily and Sir Ronnie leaned in slightly, but just then the front porch lantern flicked on and off several times. Emily Pickle sighed.
That's my mother. She's getting older, so I asked her to move in with me so I can help take care of her. She's very protective of me since, well, a certain man I was engaged to called it off.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine. He just, well, I helped him design a sport, and then Darius broke up with me once it became popular.
Darius? The Darius Rugby?
Emily sighed again.
The same. But that's the past. I've had my heart broken by men who just used me to design sports. Men like Alfonso Basketball, Tobias Golf, and Nigel Bowling. But those days are done. I am not making that mistake again.
Good for you.
Ronnie put his hand on her shoulder, and the porch lantern flicked on and off again.
Well, I should go inside. Good night.
Good night, but dinner?
Absolutely dinner. Good night.
Sir Ronnie walked on clouds on the way home. Three months later, Sir Ronnie and Emily Pickle had created Ronnie Ball, with the half-assed assistance of Chauncey, who we have already established was pretty lazy for a steampunk robot butler. Ronnie and Emily wanted to introduce Ronnie Ball to the public with an exhibition match. Emily approached Ye Olde Sporting Goods as a potential sponsor, and they happily agreed. I mean, after all, if a little sapling of an entertainment business can get a corporate sponsorship and then drive sales that sponsorship's way, why, that's a win-win-win. Kohler, see? Did you think we forgot about you? Silly Kohler. How could we, at Discount Storytime, forget about Kohler's wonderful and stylish faucets? At any price, they're a steal. By Kohler. Back to our story. Ye Olde Sporting Goods sponsored the exhibition tournament, and word spread far and wide of this new sport. Soon the tournament sold out. But who would play? Emily and Sir Ronnie were the obvious choices, who knew the game best. But Sir Ronnie had his reservations.
"I have my reservations, Emily," he said.
Why?
"It wouldn't be fair to you. After all, you've only played women's sports, not in—"
Emily raised an eyebrow and crossed her arms.
Not in what exactly?
"Not in real sports like men's sports. I mean, it's called Ronnie Ball, not Girly Ball."
A storm brewed in Emily's eyes as she slowly said,
I will compete against you and make you eat every last word.
She glowered at him for what felt like an eternity and then stomped off. The room was silent except for the sound of Chauncey's malevolent snickering. The day of the exhibition tournament arrived, and the stands were packed. Even the great ancestor of 80s comedian Gallagher did a warm-up comedy routine with a sledgehammer. But watermelons hadn't been invented yet, so he had to use roadkill. Then the tournament began and consisted of 5 rounds. The champion was whoever won 3 of the 5 rounds. Each player would take turns with a giant spinning wheel to determine what the rounds would be, just like in modern pickleball. And like in modern pickleball, the first player to spin the wheel was decided by playing rock, paper, indestructible, all-destroying gopher. Sir Ronnie and Emily met in the middle of the court. They beamed at the crowd, then scowled at each other as they held out their hands and went 1, 2, 3. Emily's hand did the sign of the indestructible, all-destroying gopher, and Sir Ronnie chose paper. Emily won and spun the wheel. It went round and finally stopped with the arrow pointing to chili cheese fries. In this round, players hit the ball back and forth like a regular boring tennis match, but both wore helmets holding a bowl of chili cheese fries. Players had to keep the ball in play while simultaneously eating the fries. The first player to finish their fries won, just like in modern pickleball. Emily had the skill, but Ronnie had the stomach. He quickly finished his fries and won the round. Sir Ronnie spun the wheel for the second round, and it landed on Nail Clipper Express, which is such an integral part of modern-day pickleball, I won't even waste your time explaining it. Needless to say, Emily, with her background in soup tennis, won that round easily. Then, after the next round, Emily led Sir Ronnie 2-1. They were taking their alpacas off the court when Emily asked,
"Had enough yet?"
No, you?
"Never."
Fine by me.
"Fine by me."
Sir Ronnie spun the wheel for the fourth round. He had to win this one to stay in the tournament. Luckily for him, it landed on, you guessed it, centrifugal farce. As you probably know, players wear clown costumes and compete on the back of a large wagon while it spins donuts in the tournament parking lot. And I bet you know what you're thinking, and yes, this was the predecessor of the modern centrifugal farce pickleball round played on an enormous centrifuge. Sir Ronnie won that round, but just barely. Emily and Sir Ronnie were now tied 2-2. It would all depend on this next round. Who would win? It was Emily's turn to spin the wheel. It went round and round, then somehow landed on a tiny sliver on the Ronnie ball wheel, almost imperceptible to humans, but visible to steampunk robot butlers.
Chauncey's choice?
They both asked.
"Tally-ho!"
asked Jerry Plotfodder from the stands.
"It worked,"
cried Chauncey and explained.
"This round was my design. I placed it exactly on the wheel where I calculated the fourth round spin would land, and it did. Ha!"
Why?
"For revenge."
Sir Ronnie shook his head.
I don't understand. Revenge? For what?
Chauncey's steam huffed as he grew agitated.
"For what? For what? How about the way you always boss me around, Ronnie? Always giving me orders like, 'Chauncey, would you please be more careful with the antique dinnerware?' Or, 'Chauncey, this heavy iron bar fell on my leg. Can you please help me pull it off?' Or, 'Chauncey, it's 3 p.m. Shouldn't you get up for the day already?' Your cruelty, Ronnie. For that I shall have revenge."
Chauncey's steampunk robot parts started whirring and hissing, and suddenly he wasn't the size of a regular steampunk robot butler, but turned into Mecha Chauncey, an 8-foot-tall colossus with enormous rackets for arms.
"I will battle you, not just for the title of winning the first Ronnie Ball exhibition match, but for the love of Emily."
"Tally-ho!"
Emily's eyes widened.
Chauncey, I'm flattered and all, but..."
"Quiet, woman, your man is speaking,"
barked Chauncey. Emily raised an eyebrow.
"Excuse me, Tin Man?"
Chauncey turned to Emily and mansplained the situation.
"Dearest future consort, once I win this match, you will marry me and cook and clean for me. You won't be a bridesmaid, but a bride and my maid. What a lovely life I will have."
Emily's face reddened. Was everyone in this era so sexist? For a brief moment, Emily thought about living in the distant future, like, let's say, year 2026, when certainly by then, women will have equal rights and equal pay for their work, and they'll be recognized for their accomplishments and not treated like baby-making factories or second-class citizens. I mean, it'll be 2026 by then. Surely society will have gotten its act together. Emily turned to Sir Ronnie.
"Did you teach Chauncey this crap?"
Sir Ronnie shook his head.
No, of course not. I had my opinions about women's sports, but you've wiped the court with me. You would have won by now if your alpaca's banjo hadn't kept going out of tune in the third round. Emily, I was wrong, and I am sorry. Can Can you forgive me for being such an idiot?"
Emily looked at Sir Ronnie, and she knew he meant it. I mean, he wasn't getting off the hook that easily, though.
"Maybe I can, Sir Ronnie. We will see. But first, why don't we whoop this metal misogynist?"
Mecha Chauncey gave a hollow laugh.
"Both of you? Ha! I will still win, and Emily will be my dishwasher bride."
"Over my dead body!"
cried Sir Ronnie.
"That is the plan,"
said evil Mecha Chauncey, and pulled something out of his torso compartment. A flaming death ball made with poisoned metal spikes. Although used frequently in past pickleball competitions, the flaming death ball was officially banned in 2009. Sir Ronnie and Emily put on cool-looking sunglasses and said,
"Let's do this."
And so the round began, and Chauncey served the death ball and Sir Ronnie hit the death ball. Then Chauncey hit the death ball and Emily hit the death ball. Then Chauncey hit the death ball. Sir Ronnie hit the death ball. Chauncey hit the death ball. Emily hit the death ball. Chauncey hit the death ball. Sir Ronnie hit the death ball. Chauncey hit the death ball. Emily hit the death ball. Chauncey hit the death ball. Sir Ronnie hit the death ball. Chauncey hit the death ball. Emily hit the death ball. That evening, Chauncey hit the death ball. Sir Ronnie
The next
hit the
day.
death ball. Chauncey hit the death ball. Emily hit the death ball. Chauncey
3
hit
days
the
later.
death ball. Sir Ronnie hit the death ball. Chauncey hit the death ball. Emily
1
hit
week
the
later.
death ball. Chauncey hit the death ball. Sir Ronnie hit the death ball. Chauncey hit the death ball. Emily hit the death ball, and Chauncey missed.
"Oh no, I have lost to a girl and a beta."
Chauncey retracted his arm rackets and returned to regular steampunk robot butler size. He hung his robot head in shame and trudged away. His overt sexism and greed led him to spend the rest of his robot life not as a humble robot butler, but as a multi-billionaire corporate executive. Sir Ronnie turned to Emily.
"Thank you. Thank you for saving me."
Emily smiled.
"Oh, I don't think Chauncey would have killed you."
He took her hand.
"Not that kind of saving. I was thinking about the game over this past week, and, well, Ronnie Ball doesn't have the right ring to it."
Emily tilted her head.
"Really?"
"Yes, and you've put so much work into it, and, well, I'm not good at things like this, but would it be okay if we named it Pickleball? I may have thought of the original idea, but you've given this game its soul."
Emily smiled.
"Yes, Sir Ronnie, I would like that very much. And moving forward,
"Partners?
partners."
Are we still talking about pickleball?"
They smiled and kissed.
Tally-ho!
Cried Jerry Plotfodder, the only spectator left in the stands. And pickleball is played the same today as it was in the original tournament. Although nowadays pickleball players, or at least the wise ones versed in history, leave their steampunk robot butlers at home. Emily Pickle and Sir Ronnie Winthrop spent the rest of their lives working on the game they both loved. Sure, they had their highs and lows, but through it all, they faced it together, much like couples do today. I guess some things never change. The end. Next week's story is a continuation of historically accurate dramas in our combination of 90s scary movies and beloved historical TV shows in Dr. Giggles' Medicine Woman. And until next week, be sure to play nice with others, be super duper kind to yourself, and as always, remember to laugh. Bye. This episode was created and performed by Ken McCann. This is a Discount Storytime production.